This song was tough. I had no idea what to do for it. I've never really played or listened to whatever style you want to call this song, so even after listening to it enough times to be able to sing it back to myself, I still had no idea what my part was going to be. When this happens, I just go to the drums, put the song on, and mess around until I stumble across something that seems to work, and then I develop the idea from there. I know I play a lot of notes in this song, but there's really only two parts to it: the verse beat and the chorus beat. The verse was a killer. I was tweaking that part right up until I recorded it, but the chorus was the first idea I stumbled across that seemed usable, so let's talk about that first. Even though I didn't feel familiar with this song's style, it still made me feel a certain way, and I used the impressions that it gave me to help get me started. The song is electronic. It's all synthesizers, so I felt like any drum part that went along with it should sound like a programmed part. The first thing I gravitated towards in the chorus was the emphasis it put on the and of beat 2, so that snare hit was the first thing that I knew I was going to do. The 16th note bass drums starting on the and of 3 were a result of that snare hit. They just felt like the natural thing to play after it, and I played them as 16th note doubles instead of a single 8th note because the quick double hits sounded more programmed to me. Playing on the ands of 2 and 3 kind of set the precedent that I should do that throughout the chorus, so I did on the hi-hat, but I threw in some alternating 16th note hits to smooth them out on the ands of 1 and 4 so that you'd really feel them when they happen with the snare and the bass drum. I was really happy with that first measure because I thought it was somewhat unusual, and that was the vibe I was going for. I didn't feel like I could just repeat it for every measure though, so I was still a little bit lost on what to do for the second half of the phrase. I knew the hi-hats would be playing on the ands, but I wasn't coming up with anything else. So I went back to just messing around with the song until I found something I liked, which was those snare and bass drum hits. Those were not premeditated at all, they just came out of me, and I liked them a lot. The snare hits are on 2 and the of 2, and the bass drums are on the and of 3 and the e of 4. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Sound familiar? If we start on beat 2 of grid number 8 and clap our way through grid number 9, that's what's happening. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Some aspect of line 2 from the grid has popped up in every single one of these lessons so far, which is really interesting to me because they're showing up in very different sounding ways, even though they're from the same thing, and I am not doing it intentionally at all. Yet it keeps happening. There must be something about that line. Once I had that second phrase figured out, I felt good about repeating those two measures throughout the chorus. With the exception of a crash here and there and some fills, what I had notated out for you is what I'm playing. I didn't include my sticking in the notation, but every snare hit is with my left hand, and for the hi-hat, my right hand plays every 8th note count, a number and an and my left hand plays every E and a. So that's how I came up with my beat for the chorus. Let's talk about where my verse beat came from in the next video.